This video contains an ad for NordVPN.
What's up guys, salut, this is Alex, welcome back to the dry pasta series, although this episode is more like a little digression from the main narrative where I'm trying to make dry pasta at home.
Dry pasta is the unsung hero of the pasta world. We are so used to it that it has become a commodity. People even think fresh pasta is superior to dry pasta. Marron! This stops now. In this series, we're gonna learn everything we can about this fascinating Italian food. We're gonna start cooking dry pasta with respect.
I like that. That's respect.
And we're even gonna try and make some ourselves. I know, right? What a program.
In the previous episode, I went to Italy and tasted one of the very best spaghetti carbonara in the world. The Roman master chef Luciano had a very personal way to make that dish, and it is spectacular. I would like to add this dish to my personal culinary repertoire. I mean, who wouldn't like to replicate that? Now, the good news is that when you eat at Luciano's, at the end of a very fulfilling meal, they hand you this. The restaurant business card with, surprise, his signature recipe printed at the back. The balls it requires to do this. I mean, ingredients, proportions, instructions, it's all in there. Well, upon further inspection, I soon realized that this tiny business card doesn't hold everything you need to recreate the carbonara dish. It assumes that you're familiar with Italian ingredients and Italian techniques. Okay, I was in the kitchen, I was with the chef. I saw things that are not mentioned on this recipe. Let's be honest. Don't get me wrong, it still is an amazing base to start from, but if you're dead serious about trying to recreate Luciano's dish up to Luciano's standard, like the almighty carbonara he makes, then you're gonna need more than just a business card to do so. Yes, there is a lot to cover, but no, it's not complicated. In fact, I've divided the thing in 3 key elements. The first one is meat, second one is pasta, and the third one is sauce.
Okay, and now a quick ad from our sponsor, NordVPN. I use NordVPN to secure my internet when I travel for work. I often film with chefs based outside my country, and once the filming is done, I need to send my dailies to my teammates from some internet access I have no control on. I absolutely don't know if that's safe or not safe. That is not something I'm comfortable with.
And NordVPN is now introducing a brand new feature called Advanced Threat Protection. This feature is the next step in your digital security. It neutralizes cyber threats before they can do any real damage to your device. It makes your browsing safer and smoother. It helps you identify malware-ridden files, stops you from landing on malicious websites, and blocks transfer and intrusive ads on the spot. Once you enable the threat protection feature in your NordVPN app settings, it will protect your browsing even when you're not connected to a VPN server.
Plus, one single account lets you connect up to 6 devices. VPN servers are located everywhere. You can choose from 5,400 plus servers in 59 countries and enjoy the internet with no limits or no borders. All this connecting with just one click. It's absolutely easy. Right now you can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount plus 1 additional month for free when you go to nordvpn.com/FrenchGuy. It is risk-free with Nord 30-day money-back guarantee. That is nordvpn.com/FrenchGuy, or click the link in the description below. Thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
In spaghetti carbonara, there's a bit of pork meat. There's not a lot, but enough to impart a very specific flavor to the dish. The pieces look like bacon bits, but in fact, they are not. Italian chefs use pork cheek cured in spices, especially loads of pepper, and it's called guanciale. Luciano cuts guanciale in big cubes, about 1.5 centimeters. He does that because he wants medium rare in the center, crusty on the outside. He's trying to create emotions or contrast in textures. Don't be put off by the amount of fat, it's good fat. The marbling on that stuff is just stunning. It looks like dry aged beef almost. You want to fry them dry and the fat melts beautifully. I go medium-high in order to sear them first, and then I go really low, just to cook them a bit further. The whole operation is just like a matter of minutes. Once they've reached a nice golden color, you want to get them off the heat and just keep them at room temperature. It is absolutely crucial that you keep all that fat. It is as important, if not more, than the meat. We're gonna need this later on. So the second key element is obviously pasta. What do you mean dry pasta? Yes, of course dry pasta. Sometimes I'm wondering who I'm doing a series for. When it comes to carbonara, the pasta shape that immediately comes to mind is spaghetti. And yet, that shouldn't be the case, to be honest, because Italian chefs tend to prefer thicker spaghetti like spaghettoni. Why? Well, simply put, with a thicker spaghetti, you've got a wider window when it comes to cooking it al dente. It's not completely uncommon to see carbonara made with short shape like rigatoni, for example, or my favorite, mezze maniche. It's my favorite shape because it's round and square and chunky, but in terms of carbonara, it doesn't produce something as clean as spaghettoni, that beautiful tower of flavor. No, it's more like a homey, comfy dish. I'm not against this, I'm just saying if we're in the chef mood like we are right now, spaghettoni all the way. Now, obviously for great carbonara, you should be using great pasta. So I'm not gonna go too much into details, just watch episode 5 of this series, how to buy pasta like an Italian chef. However, I'm gonna focus right now on how to cook pasta. I know it sounds stupid, but it's not. The biggest misconception here is that you should be using loads of water and copious amount of salt. That is all wrong. More water means that the starch released by pasta will be less concentrated in the end, making that liquid less potent, less likely to thicken a sauce if needed be. That is plenty to cook pasta. Salt-wise, for carbonara, it is far safer to under-season water as there is already loads of salt in this recipe. Think of pecorino cheese, guanciale, so just don't make it worse. In this specific situation, plating matters very much. Remember, we're trying to replicate one of the world's best dish. Luciano plates carbonara with a lot of volume. It's like a 2 stories high tower. It's not complicated, you just gotta do it super slow. First off, you pick up some pasta, you try to align them, then you spin them inside the ladle, and you slowly slide them out, carefully remove the fork. And obviously, once it's done, you do it again. And then you got that beautiful 2 stories high flavor tower. Okay, so the meat is done, pasta is done, and we need to talk about the third and final element, the sauce. Luciano's carbonara is all about balance, and it does reflect in the cheese selection he made. Ooh, well, okay. In the traditional carbonara recipe, you only use pecorino cheese. Pecorino romano is a hard sheep's milk cheese. Oh, it's very funky, it's wild, it's out there. But in this case, Chef Luciano decided to add some grana padano in order to soften the edge of that carbonara sauce. Grana padano is a hard cow's milk cheese. It's sometimes referred to as the poor man's Parmigiano, which is absolutely wrong, from a flavor point of view at least. It's just a different cheese. Oh wow, definitely softer, milkier. By mixing these two, he's just creating like a compromise. I didn't know if mixing them like this was gonna work, but it does. They have something just softer. I should probably grate some more. Yes, the cheese. That is the first thing you need to know about the sauce. The second one is less related to ingredient, but more to the approach, the method. And let me tell you, when I first saw Luciano making carbonara sauce, I went through a roller coaster of emotions and deduction. It's something, okay? It's something. Traditionally, the carbonara sauce is just made by incorporating cheese egg paste into pasta and just stirring. Definitely not what Luciano did. I saw he was using a double boiler and I thought, that's brilliant! Using a double boiler instead of just a saucepan means the heat will be gentle, hopefully below 65 degrees Celsius, 150 Fahrenheit, where eggs start cooking and cheese start creating lumps.
There is one more thing.
I saw him whisking and it clicked. That's brilliant! He's mimicking the sabayon technique, the foamy custardy dessert where eggs are whisked over a double boiler. Ah man, that light texture combined with all these air bubbles which enhance the sensory properties, that makes for a killer carbonara sauce.
But there is one more thing.
Then I saw him drizzling pork fat in there. Ah, no, that's brilliant. It immediately reminded me of my mother's sauces series. He's not going for sabayon, this little cheeky bastard. He's going for hollandaise sauce. By gradually incorporating fat, hollandaise uses butter, but here it's pork fat. You create a foamy, rich, flavorful emulsion. Luciano Monosilio is a genius. We are almost done. I've shown you the main elements of Luciano's carbonara. You've got the meat, the pasta, and the sauce. I've also been writing a full recipe in the description with copious amount of details.
I even made a carbonara poster. The link is down below.
However, we're still missing that little extra push, the tiny little something that makes it happen. What do you mean Himalayan pink salt? No, I'm talking about something deeper. Inspiration. I can do that. I could almost believe that I am right now in Luciano's restaurant. Okay, let me just, oh la vache. The creaminess is just like, it's like a crime. Just gonna take a bit of pasta and a bit of guanciale too. It's not too salty, it still is very flavorful. I've got the pecorino cheese, but it's not like in your face now, it's pretty mild and contained almost. The fattiness is there enough to make the dish rich and, you know, unctuous, but it's not too much there in order to ruin the whole experience and make it like greasy. I wish I could send this to Luciano's just for him to review the difference between the very first carbonara that I made for him and this one. I strongly feel like I paid justice to that dish. I feel like I respected Luciano's original idea. Now, obviously, I will have to wait till his reaction. But in the meantime, it left me with a sense of satisfaction and a big hunger for more. It works. It works. Right guys, I really hope you enjoy this video. Let's catch up in the next one. Bye bye. Salut.